Welcome back. So for this second Let's Play video, I did get some feedback on the first and I wanted to just talk about it. People were asking about the little overlay on the upper left corner that had some text about a mysterious man and conquered. And I did explain that about halfway through the video. It's my to-do list, and I'm tracking little bits of foreshadowing in the video game just to see if they pay off later on. But I think that it probably isn't working out to have that little overlay there. It's going to distract people. So I'll keep the list separate, and we'll just tab out of the game every now and then to look at that list. The other thing I wanted to do was just to give a quick summary of where we're at. So if somebody's coming in here now at video 2 and didn't see the first video, here's where we are in the video game. The game was originally set in October of 2077, the future, but it's a retro future. It's a 1950s style future where they've got robots. I have a wife and a son. The son's name is Sean. The wife's name is Nora. My character's name is Tony. The wife and son are with me in this idyllic community called Sanctuary, but bombs fall. There is a resource war because the world is overpopulated and resources are being used up at an incredible pace. And we get attacked. And I run with my family to a fallout shelter called Vault 111. I get in just as the bomb hits the local area. I'm safe from the bomb, but then we're put into like a cryostasis. But eventually something goes wrong and somebody comes and takes my son. And when my wife protests, they kill her right in front of me. But I'm still stuck in my cryostasis pod and I can't get out to help. Eventually I get unfrozen. I get out into the vault. As I make my way through the vault, and eventually get free of the vault, I emerge to a completely destroyed and irradiated world. And I'm now ready to explore the world, but also my son was taken. I would like to find my son. Also, my wife was killed. I would like to find out who killed my wife. And the person who killed my wife, all we know is we got a brief glimpse of him. He's got a gravelly voice. He's maybe got some scars on his face. He's bald. So we're looking for that guy. We're also going to go through Sanctuary, my hometown right now. That's going to be this video. And we're just going to see what's going on in my hometown. I should note, because this is a survival run, and because I'm going to try my best to not die, I'm probably going to wander around the main storyline for a while as I try to see if I can get some experience points from doing non-violent things like crafting or building or other things. I just want to try and get a little bit of XP and get a few levels on underneath me before I venture out into the world. And so you guys are going to walk with me through Sanctuary and we'll see how it goes. This is the bridge that we took originally back behind me. That's the path up to the vault. And now we're going to go across the bridge back into Sanctuary and we shall see. I can't hear that audio very well. Hold on. Okay. It's a little better for me. I don't think that's going to help you guys at all because I think that you guys... Oh, I'll take that XP. I think you guys get a set volume based on the recording tools. Okay. So these houses down here, I didn't ever really look at or mess with back before the bombs. My home was this way. And there's a dude. And that dude looks like my robot. And that is my robot.
As I live and breathe. Oh, it's really you.
Codsworth, what happened to the world?
The world, sir? Well, besides our geranium still being the envy of Sanctuary Hills, I'm afraid things have been dreadfully dull around here. Things will be so much more exciting with you and Mrs. back. Where is your better half, by the by?
They killed her.
Sir, these things you're saying, these terrible things, I believe you need a distraction. Yes, a distraction to calm this dire mood. It's been ages since we've had a proper family activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades. Sean does so love that game. Is the lad with you?
Sean's been kidnapped. But I'm going to find him. I'm going to get my son back.
It's worse than I thought. You're suffering from hunger-induced paranoia. Not eating properly for 200 years will do that, I'm afraid.
200 years? What? Are you...
A bit over 210, actually, sir. Or give or take a little, for the Earth's rotation and some minor dings to the old chronometer. That means you're 2 centuries late for dinner. Perhaps I can whip you up a snack? You must be famished.
Codsworth, you're acting... a little bit weird. What's wrong?
Oh, sir, it's been just horrible. 2 centuries with no one to talk to, no one to serve. I spent the first 10 years trying to keep the floors waxed, but nothing gets out nuclear fallout from vinyl wood. Nothing. And don't get me started about the futility of dusting a collapsed house. And the car. How do you polish rust?
What do you know, Codsworth?
I'm afraid I don't know anything, sir. The bombs came and all of you left in such a hurry. I thought for certain you and your family were dead. I did find this holotape. I believe the missus was going to present it to you as a surprise. But then, well, everything happened.
A holotape? What's on it?
I believe it's a private message for you. My etiquette protocols would not permit me to play it for myself. Any standard holotape reading device should be able to play it back. Oh, like that Pip-Boy on your arm. That should work brilliantly. Now, enough feeling sorry for myself. Shall we search the neighborhood together? The missus and young Sean may turn up yet.
Have you seen anything dangerous?
Oh, just the usual, sir. Pesky neighborhood dogs and mosquitoes. Shall I investigate?
All right. Lead the way.
Proud to serve, sir. What's all? Not this time. Pow! That'll leave a dent.
I can't get a bead on him.
Nothing here but a few flies. Wait. My senses are picking up movement in another house. Follow me. Terrific! It's a fight den.
Oh. Ah. Alright. You've taken radiation damage, reducing your max health. Visit a doctor or use Radaway to restore your radiation damage. You know, when the video comes through to YouTube, it's kind of compressed. I don't think you can see the red on my hit points,
Mr. Tony,
but it's there.
your family isn't here either. They're really gone, aren't they?
Sean's out there, Codsworth. I need to find him.
What about Concord, sir? Plenty of people there. And last I checked, they only pummeled me with sticks a few times before I had to run back home.
There's still people alive in Concord?
Yes, although they're a bit rough. You remember the way? Just across the southern footbridge, out of the neighborhood and past the Red Rocket Station? I shall remain here and secure the home front.
Let's talk to him one more time before we go.
Hey, Codsworth.
There must be someone who can help you in Concord.
Okay. So I guess he's given me the dialogue he's going to give me, and he's done until I go to Concord. Oh, bloatfly with a kickball. That's great. Another bloatfly with just bloatfly meat. Why does a bloatfly have a kickball? My assumption has always been that when you see a creature on the ground with like bloatfly gland like this, but it also has something ridiculous like a kickball. My assumption was always that what you're getting is sort of what you find in their nest or their lair or something like that. So I don't know if that's canon, but it kind of helps explain like why you would see ridiculous things in an insect's, body list of, parts and stuff. Bloatfly gland. I don't remember where the other two were that he attacked. Is this one? That's one. Bottle cap. It has a bottle cap. And a bloatfly gland. Okay. So we mostly got... There's a safe over there. That's very nice. Okay, so mostly we just got meat or glands from them, but we did get a bottle cap, and we did get something else, which I've already forgotten. We are now here in Sanctuary, and the game is telling me you need to go to Sanctuary, or no, you need to go to Concord in order to progress the story. If this were a normal game, I would now turn, I would go down the way here, and when I crossed over that bridge that he was talking about at the Red Rocket, that's right down here. There's a bridge right there, and you can see the Red Rocket off in the distance there. And he said you go over the bridge, past the Red Rocket, you get to Concord. So in a normal game, if I'm a good role-playing player, I'm probably going to go do that. However, this is a survival game, and I'm hoping to like wring every last little bit and piece out of this game before we call it quits. And so I'm going to explore some options here that will allow me to level up. Now, I've already leveled up once just from finding Sanctuary and talking to Codsworth. As you saw, I was like, "Oh, I got one good thing happened in that conversation." So I could level up right now, but I think what we're gonna do, probably two rounds to clean up this town right now. One is just to go through and grab all the loot that I can carry on my person, and then two is to go into build mode and start scrapping things like tires and even like this metal sign, 25 miles per hour. We'll get rid of all this stuff. So that's probably what I'm going to do now. I have a safe. Let's try to unlock it. Use A to turn the screwdriver. If the spot you've chosen is correct, the lock will rotate and open. If the lock resists, release A and reposition. Okay. First try.
Yes.
I got some 38 round, pipe pistol, money, shotgun shells, silver pocket watch. Okay. I don't like the lockpicking minigame. I should take that back. I think the lockpick minigame is entirely appropriate and works just fine. However, if you've played this game enough, and even the previous games used the same minigame, well, some of them did. If you've done that minigame, say 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 times, there's a point in there where you just kind of go, do I really have to do this minigame again? It doesn't have any like element of chance to it where you can't possibly win, which means so long as you're dedicated, you'll eventually get it. Now, you could run out of bobby pins if you're really bad at it, because you're using bobby pins to sort of jigger the lock. So I guess if you're low on bobby pins, it could conceivably be a challenge, but it really almost never is. Collect bobby pins and you'll get it. You'll get everything eventually. Because of that, I am probably going to install a mod that will allow me to just sort of like voluntarily break a bobby pin and win. All right, so I'm overloaded, and as you just saw, I just got wounded a little bit from being overloaded. Basically, if you're carrying too much on your character, which I should be carrying too much because I'm a low strength character, I dump statted my strength. But if you aren't strong and you pick up a lot of stuff, you start moving very slowly and you take damage periodically as you're hurting yourself, essentially. So it's time for me to start dumping things into the workbench, and that means I have to hit this workbench and see the initial interaction with it. So here we go. The workshop allows you to build, adjust, and remove nearby objects and structures. Move between options with arrow keys, press up to find the object or structure you wish to build. If your selected object appears green, press enter to build it. If it appears red, try adjusting its location and yours until it changes to green. Workshop objects are built from components. When building an object, components are automatically harvested from your junk items in your inventory or the workshop. So this is explaining why I've been picking up everything everywhere as I've been playing through the game so far. I knew I was going to need junk, and I've got a bunch of junk. Oh, I'm taking more damage. Okay. Dangerous to take damage at this point in the game while I've got this interface up because I can't see how close I am to death. However, here we are. I am filled up with stuff. I did not mean to go into this interface right away, but I had to because I need to get access to that workbench. Do I want to talk about this interface right now? I'll talk about it for a second. The interface you see has two parts. It has the bar on the top and the bar on the bottom. The bar on the top shows what you need to successfully run a settlement. And this location, Sanctuary, could turn into a settlement. I could end it like returning it to its city base and running it with a number of people here. For each person you need 1 unit of food, 1 unit of water. The power is just as needed for items you build. Defense, you want to have a good defense. They say your defense should be a sum total of your food and water units. So if I have 10 food and 10 water, I should have a defense of 20. I think it caps out at about 150. You need a bed for each person. Happiness will go up or down depending on how much nice stuff you build for your citizens and other things, if there are shops and stores. The size bar on the side there, I'll tell you about the size bar, but let me get out of this interface first. Good, I wanted just to see how healthy I was, see if I was dying. The size bar is weird because it doesn't show the size of your city or the population of your city. Instead, it shows how many complicated 3D objects you've built in the city or the settlement. And once you've built too many complicated objects, you can't build anymore because the game rendering engine feels like it's going to fall apart. It gets real sluggish. You start dropping frames. There are ways around that limitation, and I'll deal with those as I come to them. But for now that I've unlocked this workshop, you can see I can transfer. It now gives me a second option to transfer. So let's do it. Okay. This is the original interface for dealing with inventory and workshop and items, and I don't like it. So I think probably, let me just, do I even want to deal with it right now? Look at this tiny interface. Ugh. It's too small and it's not informative enough. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to immediately start installing mods. Let's get rid of this tiny little interface and use something that will fill up the whole screen. So what I'll do is I'm going to save the game, install a mod, come back, and you guys should instantly see that my interface gets bigger if I do it right. Okay, this is Vortex. This is my mod manager, and you can see most of my mods are grayed out. They're turned off for this playthrough. HUD framework is your heads-up display framework. It's a mod that allows you to mess with what the interface looks like, and that is what we're interested in right now, because there's something that goes on top of that, and it's this. DefUI 5.1. We've just added in DefUI 1.5.1. Okay. There may be another thing to that. Let me see. Yeah. Hollow time 2. I think we want to do Def UI and Hollow time. Great. So if we go back into the game now, I should see two things. First of all, the interface should be bigger and roomier. And then second of all, I should now have a clock that I can mess with. So let's go into the game and see what we get. Welcome to Hollow time. Hollow time settings added. All right, so I really want to do Hollow time right away, but I think I'm going to show you the interface as it's changed first because I got to get this stuff off of me before I die from carrying too much. So, transfer. There we go. Much bigger and much roomier interface. And across the top, you can see all the different tabs on the left side that we can go through. Miscellaneous, and then junk. Now, junk, we don't need to keep any junk on our person, so I'm just going to press T because there's a option down below at the bottom of the screen that says store all junk for T, so there we go. That instantly changed my weight load. I was overweight before. You can see down in the lower left corner, I had 85 pounds as my max, and I was at like 86 or something like that. But once I got rid of all the junk, my weight load drops down to 34. I think we can make it go even lower though. Here's my ammo, and we can get rid of some of this ammo right now because I don't use 38 right now. When you come to the food tab or the aid tab, when I was playing this game, and I was always curious, like, is there a system to know what you get rid of and what you don't? What goes into your workbench and gets stored, and what do you need to have on you? It's actually really easy. Anything that's an ingredient, like a hub flower, that'll go into your workbench, and you'll use that at some point, but you only need it in your settlement when you're cooking things. You don't need it on your person as you're venturing around in the world. So an ingredient can go away. But then on top of that, anything that is uncooked, any kind of raw meats, those can go into your workbench too. You don't want to eat those. You don't want to keep them on your person. So that would mean bloatfly meat. This is uncooked. We know it's uncooked because it has radiation. You can see in the lower center of the screen there, the rads. That's something that's got to go away. So bye to bloatfly meat. What else do I have that will give me rads? This says it'll give me rads, but it actually doesn't. It says -6 rads. In other words, this cures rads. We'll keep that. Radroach meat, this does give rads. It gives a lot of rads. It gives 11 rads. So we'll get rid of all of it. Silt bean, wonderful, wonderful item. Helps with the ingredients for something, but I don't remember what, but I do know it's an important item. Stimpaks will heal me. We'll keep Stimpaks, Rad-X, Radaway, Purified Water, Nuka-Cola. I love all that. Nuka-Cola, it turns out, like, when I first played the game, I heard so much about Nuka-Cola and like, oh, it's like a thing about Fallout. In fact, I have I literally have like a Nuka-Cola sitting on my shelf. It's like a hard plastic thing. I should put the link to the guy who makes these into my description. But anyway, I'd heard so much about him and I was like, oh, this must be like the super healing thing or something. It turns out no. There is something that is like better than Nuka-Cola called Nuka-Cola Quantum. That really does heal a lot. This doesn't do that much. The default Nuka-Cola isn't that great, which kind of surprised me because it was so thematic, such a part of the Fallout lore. But it does do one thing which is nice, and I'm going to keep it on me because of that. And that is it can offset sleep or lack of sleep. In the normal game, you don't have to worry about sleep, really. It's kind of an optional thing. You just run through the world willy-nilly. But in survival mode, if you don't sleep every day, you can get big penalties. In fact, I think I have those penalties right now. Let's take a look at them, actually. Let's tab out of here, and let's go into my inventory. And let's go to, let's see, stat. Let's try Q, show effects. There it is. Okay, so right now I have tired on me as an effect. Tired says that my action points are refreshing slower. The more I stay up, the slower it's going to get. Okay, so if I were to go into my inventory right now, and I were to go to the Nuka-Cola and drink it right now, it would turn off this tired status effect. And I would instead get something called caffeinated, and that would be my status effect. For right now, I'm not going to drink that because I don't feel like I'm in urgent trouble. And I'd like to save it for when I am in urgent trouble. I think I cleared out everything I needed to clear out. Let's just double check. Was there anything else I needed to do in here? We have 3 holotapes we need to take a look at before I do anything else. And I probably need to heal myself somehow. Okay, so 3 holotapes to deal with. Let's first deal with the HoloTime holotape because we just installed that mod. So let's take a look at HoloTime right now. You can see it says 8:07 p.m. It's got a upper right corner of the screen. It says G 8:10 p.m. and then 8:11 p.m. and so on. That's the game time in the game world. It's 8 p.m. in the game world. But down below that, it says R 11:59 a.m. That is the real world time for me. It's about to turn to noon real world time. I'm going to take a break for lunch. But we want to deal with this game time holo time thing. So let's go into the inventory. No, here. HoloTime settings. Back to game. Let's drop out of this and see what it looks like now. It should have been, it was here, it should be gone, and we should find it over here in the corner. There it is. It is in the corner now. Okay, great. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just quickly, if I even can, let's see if I can build myself a bed. And I want to build a simple bed for myself. A tiny one like this. They all use the same material. I guess I could build a bigger one, but I'd like it to be out of the way. So we're just going to put a bed right here. And we're going to sleep. That should save the game, and it should fill up my health, and it should probably get rid of my fatigue that you see on my action bar in the lower right corner. Okay. 5 a.m. I'm hungry. It's raining. And it's dark. I need to eat, but I only have raw food. And it's dark. Let's turn on a light. Helps a little bit. Let's head down here because I did see a campfire down here. There it is. Look at that. That's a problem. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Okay. So I can cook right here, but I don't want this here by a bunch of cockroaches and other stuff. So let's go into the build menu. Oh, let's not build another bed. Let's pick it up. Okay. So this is one of the ways you can get XP. You can cook and build stuff. And I have some stuff I can roast. There's baked bloatfly, grilled radroach. That's it, though. All I've got is radroach and bloatfly, but we'll take it. I'm also getting a slight XP boost right now, I think. Because when you wake up in the morning, you get 8 hours of well-rested, and well-rested is a plus 10% to your XP. So I think I just got maybe like an extra point or 2 of XP for that cooking. Okay. Let's eat some of that. I don't know if you guys heard that sound, that little crackly sound, but we're in trouble. There is a storm coming. It is going to be a rad storm. It is going to radiate the living daylights out of me. It's going to be trouble. But I'll show you how to get out of that problem. So I put grilled radroach in my favorited slot. And you can see if you look at grilled radroach, it doesn't have any radiation now, which is nice. So once you cook food, it stops being radioactive, or at least it stops giving you radiation problems, and you can eat it safely. So let's eat some of that because I'm hungry. There we go. All right. We are in trouble because there might be a rad storm coming. And I will show you a solution to the rad storm. So I was over here and I was working on that house to clear it. Then I came over to this house to clear this one. But there's a trick about this house, and that is it has a backyard with some ute fruit plants, which we will take. Oh, there's my first bit of radiation. And it has a cellar. So we are probably going to take shelter from this radiation storm. You can see it's starting to get pretty bad. Now I'm starting to take radiation. Alright. So far the radiation isn't bad. I've got barely a tiniest little pip of red on my hit points, so I mostly don't care. But this radiation storm is going to go for like an hour or two, and it's going to be rough. So let's go into the root cellar. All right. The wind is gone. The radiation is not a concern. And we're just going to pick this place over. We're going to take everything the previous tenants left behind, including precious bottles, which are so important to me, so I can fill them with water. That burnt trade magazine that I just picked up. People never pick up those burnt trade magazines, and I don't know why. They're basically free caps. Burnt trade magazines and folders, they weigh nothing. Even in survival mode, they weigh nothing, but they're each worth a cap. So you pick up a few hundred of them, you have a few hundred caps for free, and they didn't ever weigh you down. So I always take them. Duct tape is important. Gold bars are interesting, but I don't know that they're important. I don't remember what gold bars do for you. I mean, they're a building component, but I don't remember what exactly they build. One of the things that we got a little bit of just now that is important is duct tape. Anything with adhesive is important, because it turns out that's how you do a lot of your mods. They need adhesive of some kind. You can cook an adhesive too. You need ute fruit, corn, potatoes, and purified water, I think, in order to make like a vegetable starch that is very sticky and adhesive. Okay. So, you know what? While we're down here, let me show you something fun about your Pip-Boy that you can do. Oh, and I need to unlock... Oh, I can't unlock that. It's advanced.
Loctite.
Okay. So... Ooh, do I want to deal with that? I have leveled up once. I do have a perk. I could do... Advanced locks as my perk. But I think not. Okay. Let's go back to what I was saying. I was saying that I was going to... No, hold on. I was trying to keep a list of things to do. We're absolutely going to keep a list of that. There's an advanced safe in the cellar in Sanctuary. Let's pop out and make a note. Advanced safe in cellar of Sanctuary. Okay. All right, great. Let's go back. Okay, let's go back to what I was saying now about the cool thing about your Pip-Boy. So, when you go into the settings of the game, you can go down to, I think it's display, go all the way down to the bottom, and you have two things that you can manipulate. First, you can manipulate the Pip-Boy itself, the color of the Pip-Boy. And right now mine is doing this sort of like, I don't know what you call this, like lavender blue something. You can change that to be any color you want. But you also have the HUD. And the HUD, your heads-up display, it has its own set of colors. And right now I have my HUD set to match. Doesn't have to. You guys can set it to be whatever you want. But what's really interesting about the Pip-Boy colors is that if you change the Pip-Boy colors, they will also change your light. So let's get back into the game and you can take a look. Actually, I think that's supposed to be one over. Okay, good. Let's go back into the game. Okay. So this is with my Pip-Boy light on. Let's turn it off. Okay, so the cellar is fairly dark. Well, there's a little light here, but like if we look into this corner, it's fairly dark. We turn on our Pip-Boy, and we get this nice, cold, crisp blue light that lights up everything. But now, if we go into the settings for the game, display, if we change this to be very red, and we drop back into the game, you can see it's a much warmer color now. Because you're literally using your own Pip-Boy light. I might even be able to show it. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it there on my arm. I'm using my Pip-Boy to light up the area with that kind of rose-colored Pip-Boy. Now the interface has stayed blue this entire time because, like I said, there's two different settings for it, right? There's your HUD, which is the interface that you see on your screen, and then there's the Pip-Boy, which is different. And if I go back into the game, if I pull up my Pip-Boy, yeah, it's now red. Or pink, whatever you call that. Let's set it back. I'd like you guys to be the same. Blue all the way over, blue all the way over, red all the way off, red all the way off, and then green. I think now you two match. Okay. Okay, now it's back to a blue. And I think if I... yeah, I'm back to a bright blue light source now. Okay. It's not so blue over here, but I think that's because this light is overpowering it. In any case, that's kind of a cool little trick that you could use if you're playing through the game and you want to modify, you know, the way the world appears to you. Okay, so I think we've cleared out everything here, but what we haven't done is we haven't necessarily outlasted that storm up there. I have an option to sleep on this mattress here. This mattress is pretty dirty. I fear it's going to get me sick, and I don't have any antibiotics. But I don't think there's another way to wait right now. If you find a chair, you can typically sit in the chair, and you can, when you sit down, it'll ask you if you want to wait for a period of time. But looks like I don't have that option. So have to sleep. Probably going to get in trouble from this, but we'll see. No. I didn't get in trouble. All right, great. Well, the cellar is now cleared, and if I go up into the world again, hopefully that rad storm is over. According to my holo time that I have in the upper left corner, it's 9:12 a.m., 9:13 a.m. And, I mean, this looks like a nice morning now. We waited out the storm. Let's go up this tree branch. Look at that, right onto the roof. It's pretty cool. It's still a little bit foggy. There's a duffel bag with loot. I'll take it. Right on the roof. I think maybe jumping down from here is going to be okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. This has been one very long distraction from the fact that I'm supposed to be looting Sanctuary and working on building in Sanctuary. And so far, I've been so distracted by everything, I have done almost nothing. So I have cleared this one area out. That's kind of funny. There are flies hovering around the bloat fly corpse. I love it. It's so recursive. Let's turn on the light again. It didn't help a lot. There's a skeleton here. You know, I have another mod I think I'm going to try and get. Do I want to do that mod right now? Let's do the mod right now. This skeleton, I don't want it to stay here. And this skeleton is actually technically loose. Meaning it's not a part of the landscape. You can see his leg jostle a little bit when I step on him. He's not part of the landscape. He doesn't have to stay. But I can't do anything with him. Can I scrap him? Let's try. No, he doesn't even highlight. If I try to scrap him. I could scrap this stove, the cabinet, the, what is that? A coat rack. I can't do anything with him though. But let's save and add another mod. Here. Scrap Annoying Things is another mod, and it's very, very basic mod. It allows you to scrap things, but it doesn't do a lot. Like there's a mod, I think it's called Scrap Everything or something like that, or Scrappable Settlements. That mod allows you to scrap just about anything, including the ground you walk on. And it's very dangerous because not only could you scrap the ground you walk on and end up falling through the face of the earth, but also when you scrap things like the ground or even some of the bushes or other things, you break what's called pre-combines. And pre-combines are basically the world itself is many different models. It's a model of ground, it's a model of some leaves and dust, it's a model of the plants on top, maybe it's a model of like the street or the curbs of the sidewalk, that kind of thing. All those models get put together into one single model or layer. And if you use those scrapping mods to scrap out things like bushes, they have to break that pre-combined set of 3D elements. Once they break out into individual pieces, that means that the game has more that the engine is processing or rendering. And so generally people, when they do that, they see, their frames go down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames, something like that. You lose a few frames. I don't want to do that. I have this other option here called Scrap Annoying Things. Scrap Annoying Things will only let me scrap things that are not part of the pre-combine. So that skeleton that we're talking about, it will allow me to scrap that skeleton because it's actually not baked into the ground. It's not part of the earth. It's not part of the pre-made area that we're in. So let's turn it on. All right, looks like it's good. Let's get back into the game. Okay. If we go into the build menu, does he now light up as scrappable? He does. Ta-da! Great. Okay. Now, I didn't want to be scrapping right now. I wanted to be looting. There's nothing here to loot. Oh, I didn't want my gun out, but that's okay. Let's just put you back. There you go. No, no, go away. Okay. So, all right. Maybe now we can go back into fast forward. I'm going to try going through the building and just looting everything that I can find. I've already been through this one, but I'll go through all the other ones and let's see if I can finally finish and wrap up picking up everything that's in these buildings.
There we go.
There's something under the dresser, which you can get. Everybody who plays through the game should always be sure to get this. This little booklet here allows you to pick one attribute to improve. I need to get my perception to 8, so let's put it right into perception. Now I've got a perception of 3. I'm slowly getting there. Not quite there yet, but I'll take what I can get. Alright, I've been looting this place, and I'm now overloaded, so I'm going to go back to being fast-forwarded so that you guys don't have to endure me moving slowly. There's trouble. Okay. I lived. Let's get back to it. There's a bomb. An attention trigger. Well, let's disarm the bomb. And disarm the attention trigger. That save can be done with a novice lockpicking skill, which is me. I'm a novice. Alright, let's try it. So, I probably need to put in the mod that turns off this lockpicking interface. This is... although...
That's it.
That was fast and easy, but I've really got to get that mod going. Loot. Bullets. I'll take bullets. Oh. Hold on. That's definitely... Hello?
Get Buffett.
Hey, how you doing, Dad?
I'm doing well. I watched the video and it was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad you snuck in the Diablo stuff. That was fun too.
I'm actually filming video 2 right now, but you're on video. Congratulations.
I know. Cool. This is stuff that you do for kids. Not only say kids, but anybody who wants to play the game.
Yeah.
You're just showing them how to do it, right?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, I wanted to play it, so I'm mostly doing it for myself, just to play and have fun. But I thought I'm pretty good at the game now. I'm in the hardest mode of the game, and I'm going to be able to get through it pretty well. And there's a lot of things I know about the game world that I thought I'll just yak about the game world while I'm playing. And people will hear the ideas I have, and maybe they like some of my ideas, maybe they don't.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. I love you. Talk to you later.
I'll see
Okay,
you.
well, bye.
Bye.
Hey. Yeah, I absolutely would get food. It's so funny. I sat down to play the game. I got to play for like 20 minutes. And then my dad called. I talked to him for like 30, 40 minutes. And then we're going to stop for food. So like, I'm trying to film the video. Like, I've got nothing done.
I'm sorry, baby.
It's okay. I'm happy. It's good. Well, let me save and we'll keep playing. Or we'll go do food.